G'day guys and welcome back to Jans_gaming for another Dokkan Battle video. So for today's video, I thought it would be fun to go through the EZA kits for the physical BEERUS and then the INT FRIEZA, both of the free-to-play units that we are getting throughout the anniversary. Obviously, they're only in their first parts now, but the missions to be able to get our rainbow tickets require us to rainbow them. So it was definitely worth doing this because then I can showcase to you guys what I think is the best hidden potential builds for these two units. So we'll start off with BEERUS first. Leader skill is Planetary Destruction, 3 key 120. No super attack effects, so he's unable to super attack in this stage. He has defense plus 200%, reduces damage received by 50%, and then with each turn passed, that reduces by 10% down to 0. All allies get 40% when he's on rotation, plus an additional 10% up to 30% at the start of each turn. They also change its physical key spheres to rainbow, plus an additional 50% per rainbow key sphere obtained. So orb changer, which is handy, but it's a bit tough when he doesn't deal any damage. And being a free-to-play unit, his stats are lower, so his damage reduction isn't as crazy effective. Fortunately, he does have a number of teams here though, so if you're using him, you're probably just slotting him in as one of your last options. But you do go into the Awakening, and that's where he is able to attack. So for that, he gets a 12 key of raising attack for one turn, causing colossal damage, and then sealing enemy super. With his 18 key, he greatly raises attack and raises defense for one turn, causes mega colossal, and then greatly lowers attack. So the greatly lowering attack has actually become of relevance of late, so you love to see that, but still nothing too spectacular there. His passive then becomes key 3 and attack and defense 200%, plus an additional 3 key and reduces damage by 50% for one turn from the entry, plus an additional key plus 1 up to 7 and attack up to 77% with each attack received, plus an additional attack and defense with 3 or more, 100% with 3 or more key spheres obtained, reduces damage received by 30% with 5 or more key spheres obtained, high chance of performing a crit starting from the turn in which the character receives the 7th attack. So there's a bit going on in there. Obviously, it'll mean that you want to get this guy a lot of key spheres to maximize that damage reduction. If you're able to get up to that 80% damage reduction, maybe you can throw him in slot 1 to take a bunch of attacks, and then you can activate that crit. But yeah, I think you'll be able to see from my hidden potential build which way I'm leaning towards with this physical BEERUS. He's a bit of a wonky style of unit, but that's fine. And what we'll go through next, is the first form INT FRIEZA. So for this Frieza, his leader skill is Super Boss at 3 key 77%, INT 3 key 50%, obviously irrelevant. For his super attack effect, we got the greatly raised attack and defense, causes supreme damage. That's pretty handy. 50% defense is always really nice there. For his passive skill, he's got the 2 key and 100% attack and defense, which is pretty low. He can build up an extra 25% with each attack performed up to 100% to get him up to 200% there at least. Super bosses, category allies, 2 key and 30% defense. So we love support, especially when it is defensive support. He launches an additional attack that has a high chance of becoming a super when HP is 50% or more. That is worded how we like. So it's a guaranteed attack which could be a super, which helps us proc the hidden potential. He launches an additional super attack when facing 2 or more enemies, plus an additional attack and defense 50%, and sees, well, he has a scouter when there is a pure Saiyans or movie heroes category enemy. So maybe you might be able to get a bit of this use out of this guy against pure Saiyans or movie heroes. I don't think his stats are going to be high enough to make him real prominent in the most difficult content. But in terms of maybe throwing him on a team as your 6th unit, as a floater, I think that might be able to work, given that he does have that support and a scouter. You can just sort of keep him out of harm's way with that. Just the pretty standard Frieza. links and categories here. So what we'll do is we'll jump in game and I'll show you how I have built my physical Beerus and INT Freezer. So we're in game here, and as you can see from my hidden potential build, I have gone with a very heavy dodge build for this Beerus. Being a physical unit, he's already got the +5 additional to begin with. We saw from his passive when he awakens, he does already have crit inbuilt as well, and being a free-to-play unit, his damage isn't going to be all too crazy. So I think down in this bottom right-hand corner, as you can see, I'm going with the 1 additional, and then we're going the 3 dodge separate ones there, and then in the top left here, we've got the 2 additional, the 2 dodge again with the 1 additional. So that gives us a total of 15 dodge here with 11 additional. In terms of skill orbs, maybe something like a raw defensive skill orb could be really effective with his damage reduction. I mean, as much stats as you're possibly able to get is going to be the way to go. Through silver, I'd just be pouring dodge onto this guy. His utility is going to be hopefully not dying and sort of floating as a rainbow orb changer, and that's sort of like the extent of it. So being defensively focused with that dodge build is probably the best way to go with this Beerus. If we jump over to Freezer here, as you can see, got my multiple dupes all ready to go at the moment. But Freezer, I've gone literally the exact same build. So bottom left hand corner, as you can see, we've got the 1 additional. We have the extra supers or the extra attacks in his passive, so you can definitely get by with less additional for this Freezer, and have multiple chances to proc the hidden potential. But again, definitely going to focus on dodge for this guy. As very much like Beerus, I'd be utilizing him as a floating support, and in that case, all we need to do is for him to survive. So as you can see, bottom left, bottom right here, we've got the 1 additional, the 3 dodge, and then up to the top left here, we've got the 2 dodge and 1 additional. If we go here into the bronze skill orbs, I would think something like what's that? Depends what even you want to waste on him. Maybe he's not even worth a level 2 dodge there, but building him to get as much hidden potential dodge as humanly possible is definitely going to be the way to go. I just don't think Freezer's going to be able to put up good enough stats to be able to survive. So with that, the only way to survive is going to be dodge. But let me know what type of build you went with both these free-to-play units. As I mentioned, we do need to have them rainbow to be able to get all of your tickets for your rainbow ticket summon later on in the anniversary. So do make sure that you get these ones with the rainbow star on them. So thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to keep up with the content. And hopefully I'll catch you all on the next video.